Now today I'm stepping back into some more Craftopia, and today it's going to be a little bit gooey because we're going to be diving into the Just Dyers mod. But that means we have to go to the Nether first. And I've been pretty excited about this, and I have no idea what to expect from this dimension. But I have it all planned out, all ready to go. I should be able to just pop into this dimension, and we should be off. Well, you know what? Before I go in, I should probably grab some cobblestone, because, you know, just for safety. And outside of that, we should now be good to go. We have our flight. We have the ability to move around quite easily, so it shouldn't be too bad for us. So I hope. Fingers crossed. And there we are. But this is not the greatest spawn in the world. I will say that. Yes, not that great. So let's see. We have the basalt deltas that we're in, and we're at Y level 40, which is pretty low. But we should be able to head off in a direction, hopefully, and gain access to, well, be able to move about. Now, this is really where Vein Miner comes into play. Oh, it's so nice. Whenever you have, like, the small tunnel activated, I now have a hole. And judging by the mini-map, we should be in a pretty good position here, as it looks like, yeah, we have a fortress right outside, which is going to be a perfect place to place a waystone. But man, this place is very spooky, very scary. So, oh man. Better make sure I can put my stuff in here. Oh, it's so nice that we can access that. But the takeoff spell, this is a very scary place to activate it. But, there we go. And I now have flight. I have no idea what that thing is. That looks like maybe some sort of textured slime, I guess? Magma cream? Oh yeah, that's definitely a retextured magma cream. Actually horrifying. You know what? This seems like it could be a perfect place to place down a waystone. Ooh, very nice. And this is the fortress. Even though, you know what? I kind of want to place the marker down next to a blaze spawner, if at all possible. That would also be a good idea. Let's see. There's a blaze right here. Oh, goodness. I am not ready for you. I have a shield. I should have that equipped. Completely messed that up. Also, I don't have a diamond sword. I probably should have crafted one of those. But you know what? Ooh, nice. We have this mod in here. So this means we can actually craft a wither skeleton skull after taking down so many of them. Oh, that is going to be fantastic. And these guys look horrifying. Oh, but perfect. Right here is a blaze spawner. So this is going to be a great place to put that down. Like I said, let's go ahead. Oh, and take this out. Oh, perfect. And we got a blaze rod from our first one. I mean, you can't beat that. And perfect. Blaze located. Now, the main thing I am after right now to be able to get into Just Dire things is going to be getting access to Netherwort, which is important. So the fortress is definitely going to come into play here. But we also need a wither skeleton skull, and we're going to need some blaze rods. So just some of your basic necessities that you find in this dimension. Let me see if I can get this magma cream down here. That'll definitely help us later on down the road. That's kind of a cool texture for the magma cream, considering it does break up into a bunch of different pieces. Okay, there's the magma cream. There's these guys. Oh, their animations are so cool. Even though I have seen a mod for this that makes them fall into slices, which I think is the physics mod. That's probably it's got to be one of the most disgusting ways I've ever seen these things exist in a Minecraft world. Now that's got to be one of the most disgusting looking gas textures I have ever seen. Oh, that is not okay. Oh, it's absolutely painful to my eyes. No, thank you. Aha, I believe this is the area I'm actually looking for. So this should contain our Netherwort. Aha, there's a spawner right there. And I should be able to get in here. No problem, right? Let's actually just plop right on in. Also, the loot in these chests should be fantastic. Yeah, I'm still pretty crazy doing this without having a diamond sword at least. I'll make it through it, but still. Oh my goodness. And right here is our first chest. Ooh, very nice. So we got some warp scrolls. I'll take all of the free materials I can get. I mean, this loot chest was pretty nice. 3 diamonds right off the bat. And it didn't take very long, but that right there is a wither skeleton skull. Oh, that's very nice. That typically doesn't happen. So now after gathering all of those supplies from the Nether, oh boy, it is now time to jump into just dire things. And this is going to be pretty interesting because this is my first time outside of actually testing this mod that I get to, well, play with it, which is going to be kind of fun. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with this. So the first thing we're going to need to work on is actually making the goo, which is pretty interesting. Now I want to make the Blaze Bloom goo, but technically the first goo is the primal goo. So this right here, or the primo goo, or gel, wow, I cannot say this, primo gel goo. There we go. This right here is the first tier of this. So if I go ahead and make this, we can actually, I think, skip the entire first section. Do I just not have dirt? Out of all the things I don't have, dirt is one of them apparently. So don't mind me checking this for some scrolls. Oh, very nice. I'll learn some of these things, but also dirt because there's grass down here. Also, what did I get from this? Ooh, we got Ignite. We got Filter Monster, Filter Living, and Filter Player. Oh man, all the filter ones kind of cramming everything. Anyways, so back to this. So now that we have the dirt, there we go. We can make the Prime, which is the first tier, and that quest is complete. And then we can just upgrade this to the next tier, I do believe. We are going to need Blaze Powder for this. So we should have that. There we go. And voila, Blaze Bloom goo. So this doesn't do anything on its own. What we're going to have to do is actually like mix blocks with it, which is kind of cool. So this is going to use gold blocks for this tier. The first tier would use iron blocks to be able to make the first tier ingredient. But this one is going to use blocks that we're going to place next to this in world. And then there's also coal as well. So we should have actually 2 different tiers of coal that I think we can place on this. So yes, 2 different things that can be transformed. We have coal blocks that can be transformed, and then also gold, and also the lower tier can be transformed here. So the way this is going to work, we place this next to the block, and if I remember correctly, this works like this, and then we can place these blocks next to it, and given a little bit of time, we should see these blocks transforming. Slowly but surely, their textures should start bleeding into one another. Now, this mechanic is actually new to me, but there's a couple of items that are rotating also that I almost forgot about, that are rotating here. And these are the foods that we can actually feed this to activate it. So now that it has been activated, it should now start to slowly spread, which is a pretty cool mechanic. And I think unless we have to feed it more than just that, oh no, it was definitely working. Okay, so yeah, it's definitely working. It's just going to take a bit of time. And I wonder if there are textures that are overriding here. I don't think so. Okay, so they did transform, and unfortunately, whatever texture pack in this pack they have overriding kind of overrides the coolest part of this mod is the animations that take place. I almost wonder if I can figure out what texture pack is actually doing that, and see if I can't disable that. So after a bit of looking, I don't think it's texture related at all. It is actually shader related, and we can't see this beautiful mechanic happening with shaders enabled for some reason. Very interesting, but this is what it looks like with the shaders off. Man, that looks so good, and I really love this mechanic. But the main thing is not this right here. Instead, what we're after is breaking the product of doing this operation. The way it absorbs the block. I mean, it's so cool. It is very, very cool looking. And then the whole thing is finished. And then a bunch of particles. We got to see this happen. Oh man, come on, let's go. Any minute now. There it goes. And all the particles. And now we have a ton of this raw blaze gold ore. Now time to turn the shaders back on. So fantastic. We now have this and we can break it all. We can use Vein Miner also to break it. And we also get this new coal. Now, the way this coal is going to work is we just used blocks of coal, right, to make this this particular coal. Now, this can smelt 24 items, and I do believe it is a bonus. Like, you do get actually a bonus for doing this. So yeah, 24 items out of 1. We get 3 per block. And a typical block, how much would actually a full block worth be for burn time? Because I mean, that's kind of important, right? Knowing that, do we even have a burn timer for coal? If we look at its uses, yes, of course it does. Okay, so 1 block of coal can do 80. And if this gives us 24, I'm not seeing it here, actually. I mean, it actually is a downgrade on this particular coal, which does seem kind of weird, but I guess it's like compressing it into a single block. Now, this can be turned into a block, and maybe the higher tier is where things start to get a lot better. Raw blazing gold equals 72 items per. So maybe you can get more. Like this was 3. I did get an extra one, and I'm pretty sure we did get 3 from this. But I mean, the math's not 100% mathing out. Maybe it is mathing out. I'm just, you know, kind of losing it here with that extra chance. It doesn't actually tell you in here like fully how many of these primal coals you might get. It does say it's 100% chance to get 3, but maybe we can get more with fortune. I don't actually know. Now, what I am really excited about is trying out the new gear and also making the kind of blaze gold version of all of this gear. Now, we are going to need to smelt this, but once we have it smelted, we can make all kinds of cool stuff, like an energy transmitter, which apparently can send power sort of in an area, which is kind of cool. An experience holder, which I definitely want. We also have a totem of death recall, a couple of different wands, like a blaze jet wand. It also has air burst. That sounds kind of cool. There's a portal gun, like all kinds of the creature capturer, which I'm pretty excited about. So we also have a blaze gold sword, which looks like it has auto smoker on it, which would make getting food very nice. But yeah, the pickaxe is nice. It has an ore scanner, auto smelter, and hammer, and also the ore miner upgrade, which all of that sounds really good. Oh man, 11 attack damage on the blaze gold axe as well. Now, each of these armor pieces, for example, this armor, this helmet has mind fog and stupefy. But the damage values or the armor values aren't super duper high, but I'm sure with all of its abilities, it starts to really feel powerful. Like this has ground stomp, jump boost, step assist. Now we do have to craft all of those upgrades, but these are pretty cool. Like, I think this is going to be pretty interesting. And lava repair, we should be able to actually repair our gear by tossing it in lava, which feels kind of odd. And if I'm not mistaken, it looks like these all have really nice third-person models, which I can't wait to see. Now, all of the upgrades that we're going to need for the gear, I also need to start thinking about how we're going to be crafting them. And all of this requires the ferric core, I'm assuming that's how it's supposed to be pronounced. But this comes from iron blocks in the same operation. And of course, the lower tier stuff will work on the higher tier materials, but it does look like these will need to be refed. So let's take a look at our iron blocks. I don't have a whole lot of iron, but I should have enough to kind of get things started here. So I don't want to use all of my iron, but that should be a good amount. We'll get all 6 sides covered. And then I'll use more of this. There we go. We're ready to rock and roll. Place our iron blocks in here. There we go. And let that do its job. And we should also get some of that done. Now, I have plenty of this ready to go. And I think we can smelt this, yeah, in a blast furnace. And there we go. Beautiful. So this is what the ferric core looks like. And nice. We ended up getting 20 from 6, which definitely feels like way less, but I mean, I guess that's about 3 per, right? And by the way, forgive me on the pronunciation of things. For example, I know this is, I think, supposed to be representative of like ferrite, and I keep throwing the T in there. It's ferri core. But still, I don't know why. Where am I finding a T at? I have no idea. Now, back inside the quest for Just Dire Things, I probably should be completing these. So it looks like just getting started. Perfect. There's the starting quest. And we get random rewards, which could be all kinds of different upgrades. So I'm going to try my best to take as many of these as possible, because that is going to be great. Like, because some of these are pretty expensive. So we actually got the ore miner one, which is pretty nice. We got the tree feller, actually 2 tree fellers. And we got a mineral obliteration, which is actually this one. Okay. Oh, sorry, mental. Mental, not material. Mental obliteration. Nearby mobs completely stop. Forever. Oh, wow. Is that it? That's an expensive one. But now, just because I have the upgrade doesn't mean that my gear can actually accept said upgrade. So that is something that I will need to keep in mind the further I go into this. Now, I do want to make the hammer upgrade. It does look like we should be able to make that. And that is an upgrade that should be able to go into our pickaxe. So let's go ahead and make a blaze gold pickaxe. Beautiful. So that is now crafted, and I can now look at the upgrades here, and you can see there is ore miner, ore scanner. Let's actually try and put our ore miner in here. So I should be able to shift right click. And I don't know how we apply these unless there's actually a block for it. So I was right with the station idea, but I actually thought it was going to be its own modded block. But actually it's the smithing table, which we use to apply our upgrades. So applying all the upgrades, there's no negatives to applying all the upgrades outside of just the initial cost for everything. But there we go. Now, to be able to apply this, we basically put our pickaxe in here, and then we put the upgrade that we want to apply to it, and voila, in the smithing table, it's done. Now, I will say at this current stage, having a tooltip like saying that it's done inside of the smithing table would be a pretty good idea as a recommendation. I might actually recommend that on the issue tracker, but because outside of just watching a video, watching Dyer's like Spotlight Part 6 on this, and kind of understanding how this this feature works, you probably would struggle at figuring out actually how do you even apply the upgrades, especially considering how all of the other Dyer mods work. That said, all we have to do is then apply it like that, and we now have Ore Miner available in here, and we can shift right click, and we can now toggle that ability on and off. Now, if you want to shut all abilities off, of course you can hit V while holding onto it, and you can disable the tool. By default, it's probably on. Now I'm going to spend some time and I'm going to get some of this stuff crafted up. Now it does look like it is cheaper to actually make this in a smithing template instead of doing it this way. Like it costs only 3 here to make certain pieces, and you get 2 to kind of loop around. So yeah, I feel like it's a lot cheaper to start at the ferrite, but we do have a lot of abundant gold where we don't have as much iron at the moment. So I think I might actually start my journey here at the blaze, but it does seem like later on upgrading the gear is going to be significantly cheaper to just upgrade our current gear. And it's probably going to make a lot of sense too, especially once we put enchants and stuff on it. Now I've got most of the things crafted up. I do want to try this out. So apparently we can store our levels here. And now I have all of my levels stored. That's pretty cool. And I can retrieve the levels. So yeah, no negatives here. And I have no idea what this other thing does. Oh, this must be, yeah, an auto collection. Okay, interesting. So we can have it collect experience around. So like if you have a mob farm, this could collect. Oh, that's pretty neat. Okay, so this is the perfect thing to combo with our enchanting table. Now, I do want to grab some lapis. And I want to enchant my pickaxe because I really need to get to work on just mining. We just don't have enough iron to make all of the upgrades for these tools and stuff. So I really want to utilize this. I do have the hammer, but I'm missing the ore scanner. So hopefully while we're down in the mines, we actually can come across something that'll help us in this department. But as of right now, we are missing the ore scanner, which I think is a really, really cool feature of this. Now, right now, this we're kind of missing some things. So let's go to the torch. And let's see if we can re-roll some enchants. And a way that I like to do that is by placing torches down. And let's go ahead and put this in here. So efficiency, this is unbreaking. We can keep adding as it lowers the level. Still unbreaking. And now we have efficiency 2. Right here, unbreaking and efficiency. Okay, so we've lowered the level down to 18. And I feel like that's fair. Let's see. Maybe I can do this and re-roll. This is all unbreaking and efficiency. I mean, I have enough to put efficiency 4 on here, but I just don't think I have enough levels. Maybe we should just go do some mining on our own. Actually, you know what? I do have these experience shards, which I can definitely use to gain a few more levels. Ooh, up to 27. That's just not enough. I'm really wanting like at least 30. I think would be good. So we can get our first level 30 in here. Oh, man, I do have a few bottles of experience. I'm going to keep 1 bottle in here, but I can toss these down And that doesn't help either. I think I'm gonna have to just go good old-fashioned mob chopping. And thankfully I have this axe, so I can put this to the test. And that seems to do a pretty good job of taking these mobs out by easily two-shotting them. And after a few mobs taken down, I'm at 30 levels. Whew. Now, what would be amazing to roll on this would be fortune, but the chances of that are pretty low. And the fact that we're only getting efficiency out of that, ouch, that really does hurt. We didn't even get efficiency 4. Now, thankfully, I do have an efficiency 3 book, so I should be able to combine that with this. And at least we have efficiency 4 on here, making this a little bit faster, but we still don't have unbreaking. Now, actually, I do have an unbreaking 2 book that was laying around. So at least I'll get a little bit of unbreaking on here, but definitely not a lot. So beautiful. Now that that's done, we can actually take a look at a few other things. For example, the Blaze Jet Wand. This kind of propels me forward. It's kind of an interesting mechanic. It's like the dash spell from Ars, which I really, really like. So that's a neat little mechanic and also a very nice add-on for our takeoff. Just alone, this kind of works every time I use it. It's going to work kind of as a rocket. Now, I think this spot right here is going to be perfect for a mine. So I was thinking if I just go ahead and put this into the hammering mode, we turn that on, I should be able to use this as a hammer. Well, I guess only for mineable block things. So like it's not going to work in the clay, but our shovel will work on the clay. But yeah, I want to dig down. Now, once this mode is on, it's on. And I do have auto smelt on as well, which means we are going to be getting stone. That's an interesting visual bug. But I'm going to go ahead and turn this off, and then that will, mine's a lot faster when we're not doing the 3x3. And then with the auto smelt, we'll just get regular cobblestone. Now, some things I don't really know. If we have this enabled, I don't know if it uses up more durability, technically, if you have these both on, but I would prefer to have auto smelt on right now, even if it is slower. And I want to get down to the lower Y levels, so that way we can hopefully find some good resources. And maybe a cave. I would really love to find a large cave. Now, I have mined to exactly Y level 45, which seems to be actually perfect. And we even have some diamond right here. And I'm just going to start mining in one direction. And well, hopefully we hit a cave. Now, hearing mobs is definitely a good sign. I can hear some mobs going on. By the way, that auto smelt is so nice because whenever we mine something, it turns it directly into the ingot. Now, this isn't great for ore processing, but early on like this, it is very, very nice. And if we had fortune on here, it would actually fortune then smelt, and that would be even nicer. We've definitely hit some sort of cave, judging by the Enderman over here. Now, I just cleared out some water. My durability on this pick is looking pretty dreadful, and I have no idea actually what happens. Oh, we opened up something. I have no idea what happens if it breaks. Like, does a tool break, or does it go in like a suspended state? I actually don't want to test it, but I think we did find a cave. And this looks really pretty, actually. But it is completely surrounded by lava. Oh boy. But it is a cave, so that's a plus. And I think it's also just in time for me to test something else out, which is the fact that this tool has something called lava repair, which I'm kind of scared to do this, but I think I can just toss it into lava and it will slowly repair itself. Now, this feels like a really bad idea and doesn't feel very good doing this. But the idea of the blaze gold is that it can be repaired in lava like this. So let me get over my fears real quick of all of the resources that just went into making this tool, including the 6 diamonds, and toss it in. Okay. And, oh, interesting. Oh, and it just consumed that lava source, and it fully repaired it off of that one lava block. Okay, that's actually amazing. So yeah, my new favorite tool. Now, with all that being said, look at where we're at. This is going to be very, very fun. And I think I'm going to switch my mode, turn off the hammer, and just let the regular ore mode work. By the way, we do have the ore miner. And what this does is all the connected ores all get mined up in one, so I don't even have to use the vein miner key. It's just going to work. Oh, very nice. You know what though? I don't know what's faster, actually using the ore miner or just using vein miner. I think vein miner is actually faster due to the calculation of how many blocks are connected. Yeah, I think it's just better to use regular vein miner. Oh, and perfect. There's an abandoned mine shaft up here. Oh, this couldn't get any better. I mean, it could. It could. There could just be a giant sphere of I don't know, amethyst nearby. And wouldn't you know it, a giant sphere of amethyst right near the entrance where we walked in. Yeah, that is nice. Almost too nice, to be fair. But there we go. I should be able to grab all of this now. Beautiful. And we actually need this for upgrades, so that's quite nice. And this leads me to the other side. I think for now, though, I'm going to be leaving things like diamond, and I probably should leave most of this gold and stuff too, because what I can do instead is I can actually use my spell book, and we can upgrade this to a tier 2, which doesn't take too much else, and all we have to do is use our rabbit foot that we have, and we can make a spell that will give us fortune. Now, don't get me wrong, it's super expensive to use that spell, but I think it will benefit us, especially since we're looking pretty low on resources at the moment. Now, I do want to get back out of here, and don't forget that we do have our teleportation spell that teleports us right back to our bed. Oh, that is so convenient. Now, there is something that I can actually set up, and I can take my backpack and have it auto import into our current storage system, which I think would be a pretty good idea, especially for unloading all of these ores. And so it's just an importer because we're importing into the network here. And we're also going to need a integrated dynamics variable card. And that's basically it. So we'll place the importer like this. And then on the inside of here, just import all items, set it to true. Beautiful. And then we can take our backpack off. And all of the things that are in the backpack, well, minus these things, which I want to take out for right now, I can just shift right click to place it down. And you can see how quickly this will actually send all of those items out. And of course, to make mining a little bit easier on ourselves, might as well throw in a pickup upgrade so that way it keeps my inventory nice and clean. And instead, what we're going to end up with is all of the items going into our backpack. And we can toggle this on and off. So when we're not in need of it, yeah, we can keep it on or off. And you know what? For the heck of it, why not just make a magnet as well? That way things don't get away from us. And don't forget that you can toggle your magnet on and off with a hotkey. Now let's get back on task. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade my mage spellbook to now tier 2. And with a little bit of a rabbit's foot, which is going to be pretty nice, we can upgrade this, and also an emerald might as well. And an emerald's going to allow us to get a silk touch variant. So pretty straightforward. Let's go ahead and right click this, go to tier 2. Luck is the primary one that I want. So I'll toss the rabbit's foot. That's going to get me luck. That's going to be very nice. So we can augment our break spell. And then on the tier 2 here, we can do extract. And this one works like silk touch, which I think is pretty cool. Also just costing an emerald. And I think these glyphs are pretty darn important. So the luck, this one, and then I think in our quests, there we go. We get some rewards. Might as well take those. Looks like Powa, we also got a reward. Ooh, we actually get to select what we want. Oh, that's pretty nice. So, like, there's a thermo generator right off the bat that we can get access to. Ooh, that actually might be a good idea. That's some early power. You know what? I'm going to save that one for later. And then go back. We have an occultism one that just gives us bone meal. Very nice. But now, when going in and modifying our boop spell, essentially what we're going to need to do is have touch, break, and we don't have to have item pickup on. We have a magnet, so we can save on some source here. But if we put luck on here, that's where things really start to change. And the more luck we put on here, the more expensive it starts to cost. And then we start to realize that we can't put more than 4. But this is basically like hitting it with Fortune 4. And so this is going to be really nice for a lot of different ores. And we should be able to now get tons and tons of resources out of the diamond blocks. So now to put this boop spell to the test, let's go ahead and break the diamond right here. So the diamond should have went in here, and we got 4 diamonds out of 1 ore. And notice how much of our sources cost. So this is only for like really high tier things. Of course, we can lower this down and do like luck 2, which is still better than nothing. and break things like gold, which will grant us more than one usually. Definitely want to venture off into the mine shaft. Oh, this is going to be so good too. There's going to be so much goodies. And right off the bat, a minecart. Oh, this even has a diamond in it. Backstabbing as an enchant? A spawner aggregator? Or sorry, agitator? I don't know why I call it that. But yeah, an agitator. So we should be able to potentially use that down the road. That's a pneumatic craft. It kind of holds a spawner working, I do believe. And a healing circle. So as I was mining, I was not paying attention to my tool, unfortunately. And well, it broke. But I did find out something after it did break. It drops the upgrades. So thankfully, when the tool breaks, you do not lose your upgrades, which I was really concerned about. Because the tool itself can be easily made and crafted and replaced, but these upgrades are very expensive. Now, I know by the end of this episode, I didn't actually get the chance, well, to upgrade our armor, because I'm really suffering on iron in this pack, and I don't know if it's the ore generation or what, but I did quite a bit of mining and did not come out with hardly any iron. So we're gonna have to find other solutions, I think, for generating iron in this pack outside of mining, but besides that, I will go ahead and get this armor equipped. So once we equip it, this is kind of what it looks like. It's not too shabby, but it is just like kind of the vanilla armor it looks like. The pants have a little bit of extra texturing, but outside of that, I don't know. It's just kind of a darker color, almost like a netherite color, but I kind of like it. But something to note, it is not actually as powerful as the current gear we have on, so it's going to be very hard for me to actually use this gear until we, for example, either break a piece of gear or have the ability to make the upgrades for this. But I think those are going to have to be problems that we solve in the next episode, because today we're just all out of time. So I hope you did enjoy today's episode, and hopefully you'll learn something new, whether it was about the new dyer gadgets or what have you. But of course, guys, I do appreciate it. Be sure to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and of course, give this video a huge thumbs up. And now with that being said, it's now time to thank the amazing supporter of today's episode. That amazing thanks is going to go out to Richard Reese. Thank you so much, by the way, for your amazing support and choosing to support me over on the Discord by becoming a Discord premium member and supporting in one of the best ways possible. And I thank all of you guys so very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. And of course, I can't say it enough. As always, thanks for watching. Bye!